I'm Brooke, Molinaroli. I'm from BT, and I was responsible for launching our BT Care channels across social media. I think some of you have probably heard this case study before, but we launched, over the last year, we launched four things. Basically, we started out, we launched a presence in consumer forums like Think Broadband, Money Saving Expert, those type of things, where we identified customers who were complaining or had broadband service issues, and we were able to help. So, and after that, we actually launched BT Care on Twitter, a YouTube channel of self-help videos, as well as our own community forums. So that's the overview of what we've done. So we did a lot over the year, but the most important thing is sort of, why did BT do this? And the truth of the matter is that we identified through the customer service organization, which I was part of, or another man who's now our customer services director, that actually there was a lot of customers that were complaining publicly in forums, had issues, they were distressed, and we were trying to help them. So we did help them, we picked up their issues, we were able in a very public forums to help them. So obviously on the back of that, we discovered the power of the turnaround. And a lot of the insights we had on this really are kind of universal in terms of helping customers and customer service. But we had such a wow response to finding customers before we even had our own presence on Twitter or other channels, that we decided as an organization that we really needed to do this. And obviously there were others in the US and other countries that had already kind of made some small forays, particularly Comcast in the US and others. So on the back of that, in the context of 10 days into a new job, my new boss told me that I was going to launch our BT Care service, which was a little scary, being that we didn't have anyone, we didn't have a page, we didn't have any agents, we didn't have nothing. So basically what we did was we found, as you would do, we found one agent who, in our contact center, in our service organization, on Twitter, of course, we found him, and we started. So that was May of 2009. And so we basically have grown it from there. Just for people who don't know what it is, and this is just a screenshot, but it's live if you want to send us a message at BT Care. But basically, we're proactively finding customers across Twitter, where through a series of keywords, we use our homegrown searching tool, but you can use others, that basically finds, things like, believe it or not, BT man, BT van, BT complaint, all sorts of words, and we'll come back and say, hey, we see you're having your problems, can we help you out? Let me give you an update. Oh, an engineer was supposed to come. But there's also the weird and the wacky. I live in the northernmost Scotland. When is my broadband coming? Absolutely anything we will deal with on here. So that's kind of the summary of what we are doing here on the Twitter channel. So it's kind of evolved over time. We also, which I'm going to touch on a little bit in a video, but after that much success, we also launched a set of self-help videos on YouTube, which was really, it's common videos about how you set up your own broadband, you have wiring problems, improve your speed, that kind of thing, as well as our own forums, BT Care forums, which are traditional peer-to-peer forums, which also have been kind of a huge success. So to date, we've sent over, I think it's 37,000 messages, and we have, I think, more than 8,000 followers. I think that I did that this morning. And also, satisfaction levels on here have been amazing in the context of our normal channels, meaning the fact that we're seeing a 60+% of customers who said they're extremely very satisfied with this experience. It's no surprise. These are customers we are turning around in the power of the word of mouth. It's all been talked about, but it's really happening for us here. So I'm going to tell you a little bit after. I'm going to show you a video now, which just gives you a better overview of what these three channels are. And then I'm going to tell you about some insights about human understanding and why I feel that for our organization, why it's been so powerful. So let's watch the video for a minute. So as you can see, we've done a number of things. I'd also give a plug. Emma was in my team, and she was the one in the video. So we did do a bit of a DIY job on what we did. We really kind of did it ourselves, which was kind of a nice part of what we were doing. Now, the thing is, what I think related to human understanding in the whole event, I think the most interesting things about what we did was the fact that I think the secrets of it has been the fact that a couple things. We used a real service team. These were advisors and I'm making a call out to them, they're on there today, in Northern Ireland, Craig and Steph, and real people that worked within our teams and had access to all of our normal service systems and channels and all of it, so they were completely plugged in, but we trained them specifically to be able to operate in these new environments, which was a big cultural shift for them in terms of response times and what they did. But from a customer point of view, it's no surprise. If you can go to this channel and be able to resolve whatever the query is, as opposed to being in a big organization where you get shifted from here to there to all sorts of different places, and your issue can be resolved all in one place, customers just loved it. No surprise, we all think that, it feels obvious, but huge success for us as a big organization. Secondly, and also as part of that process, which you don't really think about, is that electronic channels, some people like to operate, like Thomas Power, I'm sure, so if you haven't come to us here, that they're just naturally in these environments, so it's a natural place. So we are going to customers where they are. It's not right for everyone, but for some customers it is. So that's one thing. But also to the fact that these channels allow us to, what in the business of customer service we call KCI, but keep customers informed much more easily. Because customers are very forgiving. Even if it takes you, you don't want it to, but even if it takes you a couple weeks in the context of a complicated situation, something wrong with your broadband and the engineer coming and a billing issue, whatever it is, as long as you're keeping them informed, and this makes it easy, customers are happy. Because it takes away the issue of control. We all have been in the place like, oh my God, do I have to call again? I want to tick it off my list. I don't want to have to worry about it. And if someone is constantly going back to you, so we worked really hard to make sure, when something was going to happen, then the next day send an update to make sure we had the right reminder features. And we did sort of develop our own operational system, but it's a little bit boring. I won't go into all that, but there was a lot of thinking around that. So I think that's been hugely successful for us. So kind of real service, real teams. I also think the fact that it was proactive, though there's been a lot of controversy where some people will say, you're intruding, why are you coming to me, you're interrupting my conversation, but if you're publicly saying something that you have a problem, for the most all times people will say, oh my gosh, thank you for recognizing me that I have a problem. And I think the insight there is that customers are saying, I've been a loyal customer to you, you're actually coming to me and helping me. Oh, fantastic. I don't have to call you. You're coming to me, which again feels obvious, but really powerful for us as a business, the insight around proactivity, I think. It's the basics of good loyalty, but that's what it is. I also think in the context of proactive, it was very surprising. We're big BT, like a lot of big corporates, you don't expect us to do things like that. So what I feel is that for our brand to do this, and to do this in social channels, allows us to reinvent a bit and to drive our brand, and that we actually have great people in our organization that are very talented with a lot of information that allows us to kind of showcase that. So I think that's been huge. And I also think that the power of the personal. Because if you can see, we've got, Anne Louise, Stephanie, and Nigel. This is from this morning. They're on duty now. They are the real people, and they are the people doing this. So people say over and over again, oh, it's a person. I can relate to this person. I can come back to them. I feel so good that I know that there is someone there, that you are not the kind of big, kind of faceless organization. So, that's been incredible. And I think if you made me pick anything, that was the thing that allowed Twitter particularly, I mean the other channels as well have been successful, but this has allowed us to really make this channel super successful. So that's it from me.